call the 1548th meeting of the General Student Senate to order. First, I will read the land acknowledgement. The University of Maine student government recognizes that it is located on Marsh Island in the homeland of the Penobscot Nation, where issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon sacred sites are ongoing. Penobscot homeland is connected to the other Wabanaki tribal nations, the Passamaquoddy, Maliseet, and Micmac, through kinship, alliances, and diplomacy. The University of Maine student government also recognizes that the Penobscot Nation and the other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. Next, the clerk will call the roll.
Paul Ricker.
Here.
Memphis Peterson.
Here.
Joshua Bone.
Here.
Kate Kemper. Here. Tristan Pratt.
Here.
Bo Mishu.
Here.
Merrick Waters. Here. Max McDonough. Hayden Buzzell.
Here.
Nate Fenn.
Here.
Elizabeth Oldfield. Here. Cynthia Shelmerdine. Here. Chase Emsall.
Here.
Ethan Crawford. Jordan Thompson.
Here.
Lucas Cousins. Aaron Martone.
Here.
Neil Rocky.
Here.
Michael Lorch.
Here.
Keegan Tripp.
Here.
Jay John. Here. Miles Moore.
Here.
Julian Ober. Here. Jacob Chaplin.
Here.
Toby Carroll.
Excused.
Kevin Olson.
Here.
Olivia Britton. Here. Allie Mills.
Here.
Amanda Levesque. Here. Jacob Hartwise.
Here.
Anna Blanchett. Here. Natalie Bullen. Here. John Guzman.
Excused.
Emery Clifford. Atalaya. Here. Lori Sudoku.
I'm looking for approval of the 01/23/2024 minutes and this agenda. Senator Peterson.
I move to approve the 01/24/2023 minutes.
Second. If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. We'll be skipping the Robert's Rules tip of the week today. Sorry. We'll move on to general good and welfare. Any non-member may address the GSS for not more than 5 minutes. Seeing none. Senator Peterson.
I move to suspend the rules and add Hayden Buzzell to Senator appointment.
Second.
Second. All right. Hearing a second, we'll move into a period for discussion. Senator Oldfield. Sure.
Are all those papers in?
Yes. Perfect. Any other points for discussion? Seeing none, move into a period for debate. Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that's adopted. We'll now move on to new senator, officer appointments, and resignations. Will the following people please stand and raise your right hand? Kyle Ricker, Ethan Crawford, Neil Rocky, Kate Kemper, and Hayden Buzzell. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Neil Rocky.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and uphold.
That I will support and uphold.
The Constitution of Student Government, Inc.
The Constitution of Student Government, Inc.
And all other rules and guidelines.
And all other rules and guidelines.
To which I will be held.
To which I will be held.
Further I swear.
Further I swear.
to well and faithfully discharge
to well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter,
while representing my constituency
while representing my constituency
and the University of Maine.
and the University of Maine.
Congratulations. We'll now be moving on to club maintenance, starting with pickleball for final recognition. Do we have a speaker? Perfect. The floor is yours.
Yeah, my name's Dave Jordan, I'm the president of the Pickleball Club. Was here last month, getting the first recognition, now I'm here for the final recognition. Basically, we have maintained 15 or so students per practice. We practice twice a week. We're looking to move into the indoor tennis facility in Hamden area. And we're also looking into doing a lot of tournaments in the upcoming future. Which will require funding, obviously, but yeah, we're doing just a lot of different things for the club and definitely growing the pickleball scene here in the Orono area. So,
All right. Are there any questions for the speaker, Senator Ricker?
Pure curiosity, what's the difference between pickleball and tennis? Can you play like pickleball on a tennis court or other way around?
yeah, it's a little smaller courts, played on the size of a badminton court, and different, little different rules. You play with like a paddle and a wiffle ball. And a little different scoring. So,
Senator Kemper.
Do you foresee having dues as a club?
we discussed that first semester. We did not need that, but this semester we might. Very small amount though. We do have a lot of current funding, which has definitely helped us not have dues, and that's one thing that a lot of our players like is not having the dues. So it's still an ongoing thing that we're discussing.
Vice President Allen.
Have you pursued the club sport conversation with Dale Russell?
Yes, we already have official club sport in the sports club community.
Vice President Allen.
What tier are you guys working towards for next year?
We're working towards tier 4.
Thank you.
Senator Kemper.
You said you had a lot of funding, is that from the tier system specifically?
Yeah, we've gotten the sports club committee funding and also external funding for the requirements to meet that, just from the pickleball community and such, and other tournaments that we have entered organizations.
All right. Any other questions for the speaker? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
400 all to pass.
Senator Peterson.
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
Second.
If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. We'll now move into a period for discussion. Vice President Holbert.
This club maintained over 10 members, fill out all the required paperwork, have taken the initiative to become a club sport, and waited their 7 academic weeks.
Any other points for discussion? Seeing none, move into debate. Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. We'll now be moving on to Spiffy for final recognition. Floor is yours.
Hey everybody, my name is Evan Morgan. I'm the Director of Operations for Spiffy. We have about 70 members roughly within the business school, some dispersed outside of the business school. We've been a club since 1993, established by the University of Maine Foundation with an initial endowment of $200,000 in 1993. Today with a portfolio worth about $4.3 million.
All right, are there any questions for the speaker? Senator Waters.
UMaine Climate Action sent you a letter requesting you to divest from fossil
Point of order
fuels.
relevance.
That has nothing to do with recognition. We're asking for questions about the recognition process. Senator Ricker.
Pure curiosity, are you still like really connected with the University of Maine Foundation, like communicating with them often? Or is it just-
Absolutely, yeah.
Any other questions for the speaker? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
400 all to pass.
Senator Peterson.
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
Second.
If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. We'll now move into a period for discussion. Vice President Ober.
Once again, this club has waited their 7 academic weeks, turned in all their papers, and is a very large club with like 65, 70 people regularly attending meetings. And they meet all the requirements to be a recognized club under our guidelines.
Any other points for discussion? Senator Kemper.
Some information, why have you guys not seek, why have you guys not seek funding from us before? Sorry, recognition.
Recognition. So from my knowledge, we were recognized in the past. I think just due to previous executives failing to submit the necessary forms, I think we kind of got lost in the mix. And so we're taking a step to get re-recognized.
Any other points for discussion? Seeing none, points for debate. Senator Oldfield.
This is a really large club on campus, and they provide a lot of really amazing professional opportunities for students in business and working on understanding finances. And I think it offers a really great opportunity to a lot of people on campus, so I would be in favor of giving this kind of recognition.
Any other points for debate? Senator Waters.
I'll be voting in favor of recognition. However, I think that it looks poorly for your group that you don't fit the standards of the rest of the university with divesting from fossil fuels. And you should make the efforts
Point of
to.
order, relevant.
Okay.
Point of order. Any other points for debate? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. Now move on to Health Professions Club for preliminary recognition.
I am Davina, I'm from Professional Club.
I'm Anna.
So the main goal of our club is just kind of bring together all sorts of teacher health professional students. Your MDDOs focus on a lot of PA students, nursing students, production, optometrists, orthodontists, like anything you can imagine. We probably have, we have about 150 members on our email list now. Regularly get anywhere from 15 to 30 kids to show up to meetings. It really depends on what topic we're hosting. So really the goal of the club is to kind of promote engagement with the greater health professions community, support kids through this very difficult process with lots of resources, and really get them to learn more about what they're getting themselves into. So last year we hosted a lot of speakers. We had medicines from Dartmouth, we had a PA student at UNE, Maine alumni. We had research faculty on campus talk to us. We hosted a pizza mixer with members of the Health Professions Advisory Committee. We hosted members of UVAC who came to talk to us about emergency medicine and also let us practice some first aid on them. And in the future, we have lots of plans. So we talked about financial assistance for graduate school. We are hoping to do some collabs with other clubs and looking to get these resources for things like volunteering and academy and other things necessary to build up a good application for schooling in the future.
All right, do we have any questions for the speaker? President DeLorge.
As someone who knows you from other health-related clubs, how does Health Professions Club, how's it differentiated from other health-related clubs on campus? I know the answer to that, but I think it's like an important one.
So yeah, so the main other one really is Op Hearts, which the main mission of Op Hearts is kind of like medical or community-based like medical volunteering. The main goal of Health Professions Club isn't necessarily volunteering. Obviously, it's highly encouraged. But Op Hearts like fundamentally has a very different goal than Health Professions Club. As an officer in both clubs, we designed Health Professions Club to keep the two clubs separate, and any other clubs on campus don't really have any other overlap we've seen with this club. So,
Are there any other questions for the speaker? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
400, opt pass.
Senator Peterson.
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
Second.
If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. We'll now move into a period for discussion. Vice President Over.
Once again, this club waited our 7 academic weeks, got all our paperwork in on time, has maintained above 10 club members, and is distinct from
Isn't this preliminary recognition?
Sorry, this is actually, okay, that's my apologies. That was gonna be my first point, thank you for bringing that up. It's not preliminary recognition, it's final recognition, and I talked to Jeff about this earlier, but he'd already printed the agendas. So he did not want to reprint them, understandable. They are going for final recognition. So they did wait their 7 academic weeks, we've seen them last semester. And they're killing it, it's like.
Any other points for discussion? Seeing none, moving into a period for debate. Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. We'll now move on. Those clubs who have presented, you guys are free to go or stay. We'll now move on to executive report, starting with the president.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I would like everyone to welcome our new Board of Trustees representative, Olivia Britton, who attended yesterday's board meeting. Welcome. She'll be giving her report tonight on the board meeting and taking over for Ben Doherty, Representative Doherty, who resigned from his position at the end of last semester. Next thing, Chairman Olson and I sent out an email to all students regarding the election timeline, concert update regarding the Sammy Ray and the Friends concert with Midnight Breakfast happening this Friday. And the email also included some general information regarding UMSG services and what we can provide for students. I know she's not here tonight, but thank you, Lori, for facilitating that email, as always. Second to last thing, I've been asked to serve on the mental health task force from the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, John Boland. I will likely be accepting that nomination based on my schedule and how it aligns with my classes and whatnot. If I can't do it, I'd like someone else from student government to do it. I might be reaching out to some people about that if it doesn't work with my schedule. This task force, it seems like, will be really nimble and able to accomplish its 2 primary goals of 1, identifying mental health challenges on campus faced by both students, faculty, and staff, and also creating a framework to address these challenges and recommendations to members of the administration. So I think our campus definitely needs it. Last thing, today, our attorney, Sean O'Mara, Vice President Allen, Vice President Moore, and myself met to discuss the esports arena. We've discussed this once before, but for those of you that might not know, this project was funded by UMSG during my freshman year in March of 2021, and it exists today downstairs in this building. Our memorandum of understanding that we signed with the university for like a cooperative agreement with this space expires on March 2nd. And as I see it, we have 3 options in light of that MOU expiring. We could first re-sign the same MOU and maintain our obligations over the equipment that we purchased in the esports arena, as we discussed earlier this year when we appropriated more money to repair the computers that were broken. Second, we could relinquish our obligation, as I stated, and not re-sign the MOU. Third, we could re-sign the MOU, modify and increase our obligations, potentially purchasing new equipment for the space. And this would entail a sizable financial contribution from UMSG and the student activity fee. So those are the 3 options. In the meeting this morning, we concluded that the first option of continuing our MOU as it stands is best now. With that said, we'll be doing what we can through social media, events held at the esports arena like gaming tournaments, potentially in conjunction with CSI, to advertise this space to students. Advertising a survey with what frequent esports arena users would like to see in the space, and also advertising Vice President Ober's availability and UMSG services to be able to speak with students about how to start an esports arena team or like another electronic gaming club, I think would also be important. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, but I'd like to entertain a brief discussion on this in the period for executive reports. In just a couple of minutes, I'll be having a meeting either later this week or sometime next week with Brendan Tretchell from the Center for Student Involvement about this. And I just want to make sure that I'm not going in against the will of whatever the senators decide. So I've just outlined to you what I think is best, but if someone disagrees with me or wants to have a conversation about that in an open forum, please feel free to use that time during executive reports to do so. I've already talked with Vice President Tripp about that. He's for that. So, yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll now move on to my report. First up, I met with Advisor Sedelko regarding club storage on campus. For anybody who has interacted with any club on campus, storage is a crisis, and that's what we have found out a little bit more about. But we're looking at kind of pursuing some avenues, some temporary fixes, some long-term goals, and how we can start kind of addressing this issue. I'll be working on this project with VPSO Ober and VPFA Allen, as well as anybody else who'd like to get involved. It's in very early stages right now, so as soon as I kind of have more groundwork, I'll let you guys know about opportunities and how you can help with that. Next, I am meeting with Senator Michoud and the bookstore executives on Thursday to finally follow up on the inclusive access resolution. This is a long time coming. Things got busy toward the end of the semester, didn't work out then. First few weeks were really hectic for everybody, but we're finally got that conversation rolling. So excited to come back next week and give you both, or both of us give you a little bit of an update on that. Next, I'm continued my work on locking down some guest speakers. I'm hoping to start the series next week. Nobody wanted to be the first one to speak, and that just kept pushing them back and back. So hopefully we can get somebody in here a little sooner, but if you still have ideas, I'm open to them. So please let me know. Next, a little bit of a housekeeping thing. Just some kind of rules and guidelines I wanted to go over just because we kind of ran into it. In order to become a senator, it is not required that that individual be paying the student activity fee. A question was brought to my attention about a student taking only 6 credits, but fully online on campus, who also wanted to join Senate. So I did a little bit of digging about kind of what that would look like, and it seems, or at least it's in my opinion and Sean's opinion, that that would be totally fine, because we're able to, it doesn't clearly outline that in our Constitution or our standing rules, but us as a Senate have the ability to interpret our documents as is. So just in case that question does come up and that individual wants to, I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that, because if people do have some sort of problem with that, we can have that discussion now and get that kind of square away in terms of policy so that we know if someone else comes and approaches the Senate to join, I know exactly what to tell them. So there's that. And then that is the end of my report this week. We'll now move on to the Vice President for Financial Affairs.
Hi everyone, annual budget forms are complete and ready to send out on Friday when the forms become available for pickup. I plan on emailing rep boards and club sports with specific instructions next week, along with club presidents that are recognized with us about office budgets. So don't worry, there will be something in your inbox. And just remember to keep checking that budget timeline that I put in the Senate space. Our attorney, Sean O'Mara's contract is up at the end of the year. So I started preliminary conversations about that. I'll be sort of spearheading that, and towards the end of the year, the Senate will have to approve Sean's new contract should he decide to sign it. Senator Ricker brought forth a great idea about allocating funds as needed for people who can't pay club sports dues because of financial strain. I sent out a survey to club sports officers that will close February 7th, just to gather some data on that to see if there's a need. General reminder to read the financial policies and our cheat sheets if you've not gotten around to it. I know there's a lot of new people in this room, which is great. The cheat sheets are in the Senate space. If you want to read the full version of the financial policies, you can come stop by the office. Also a reminder to consider EBC tonight as we do nominations and elections. We are the first step in the funding process for student government. We meet Mondays at 4. Similarly, if you're interested in BPFA because of graduating, please come talk to me, and I'll be in the office tomorrow from 2:30 to 4:30 instead of my Friday office hours because I'm going on a field trip. And my traditional report, starting projected unallocated, we have $71,356.91. 3 returns to unallocated tonight, one from Math Club in the amount of $2.76, one from Hillel in the amount of $22.91, and one from the Geological Society in the amount of $69.32.
A couple items on the consent agenda tonight, including an office budget from Hidden Opponent in the amount of $150. Maine Outing Club, in the amount of $790. They requested, some long-range walkie-talkies. Asian Student Association in the amount of $690 for their Lunar New Year celebration. And Japanese Club in the amount of $181 for their game night. And then you'll be hearing from cheering at the end of the night, for requests for their nationals in the amount of $6,800. And the report.
We'll now move on to the Vice President for Student Organizations.
Hello, everyone. So last semester, it was brought to my attention that everybody really, really wanted me to bring back Club of the Week, so I'm going to do that. We are starting with a club that I admire, which is the Dungeons and Dragons Club. And I pulled up like their description of themselves, which they said, they provide a welcoming and inclusive community on campus dedicated to the experience of Dungeons and Dragons, and they provide a supportive environment for both newcomers and seasoned players where creativity, camaraderie, and adventure thrive. But what I find really cool about this club is they like internally have their own governmental structure, and it's very well organized and it's very well put together, and they're one of the largest groups on campus. Their Discord has like over 700 people in it, and then they have little like side quests basically that they have different channels for, but it was really cool, and they're organized extremely well, and they get to tell people that they're the biggest club on campus, so that's cool for them. Feel free to join. For my more traditional report, I am bringing a resolution to exec session tonight, so be excited for that. The rep board handbook and community association handbook is done. All of the papers are done. They're sitting in my office and I'm slowly putting them in binders because that's way more time intensive than I thought it was gonna be, and that's okay. So feel free to stop by anytime this week to pick yours up. / walk me, make yours in front of you. And Vice President Tripp has already talked about the gear shed, but I wanted to let you guys know, if I haven't already, that that is one of my biggest priorities for this semester. Storage and spaces on campus for clubs in general are is kind of my biggest issue for this semester, so I will be working on that. Job templates, some of you rep boards and community associations have already met with me, some of you have not, but you are scheduled to meet with me later this week. So do that. And there's no SOC this week, so if you get elected to SOC tonight, which you should want to because it's a great committee, you also have the benefit of not having one this week, so that's exciting. Also, if you are coming to office hours, sometimes I have meetings during office hours, so I really love an email before you come to office hours. Also, for like, I mentally prepared to see people during office hours, like, I mean, I'm prepared to see you guys, but like also just like an email would like also be great. So just let me know, and I'll be there in the report.
We'll now move on to the Vice President for Student Entertainment.
Hello, so Samuel and the French concert is Friday at 8 p.m. in the Collins Center. We will be tabling on Friday morning, but you can also get tickets in the box office or to the email I sent to everyone who lives in the dorms today. Right now, we're looking into some comedians as a second show, which is probably going to be on April 5th. It's going very well. Also planning a video game tournament for the end of February and a pizza night social thing with Ben Barr, who's the hockey coach. And I also bought some more movie tickets. So, end of report.
Perfect. We'll move on to the Vice President for Student Leadership.
I'm also going on a field trip on Friday, so my hours will be different. If you need me, I'll be in the office tomorrow and Thursday, similar to what VP Ober said. Feel free to just feel free to email me before you drop in. That'd just be easier. I'm working on replanning the TEDx event and planning the leadership retreat. Please fill out the forms in the Google space, especially the TEDx one, when you have a moment. And also, of course, if you're interested in planning and leading one of the leadership workshops at the retreat, come talk to me. VP Allen and I will be meeting with the head of IT at Folklore Library next Wednesday to discuss the logistics of creating a syllabus repository. I know it seems like we're just meeting with a bunch of people, but I promise we're making legitimate progress on this. And we're getting a lot closer. And after this meeting, we'll really just be working through the logistics of like implementing one and actually building one up. VP Ober and I will be meeting with Orono Town Council member Dan Demerit next Monday to discuss the upcoming municipal election date change. Let me know if you want to get involved with that. Again, please let me know if you want to be interviewed for an article for the Maine campus. Open to really anyone in here except for the execs. And finally, throughout this semester, I'm going to be working with the exec team on developing a logic model, kind of as a leadership exercise for our team and as a tool to leave behind for the next leadership team. So logic models are tools that are used throughout the nonprofit sector to map out an organization's vision or kind of longer term project. It's a really useful tool to do like systems level thinking and focus on how different projects or activities help drive your mission and how they're kind of interconnected with one another. I'm personally really excited to work on this project with the exec team and present it to you guys at the end of the semester. But I also want to extend the opportunity to you guys to get involved with it too. So please let me know if you have any interest in learning more about that or contributing to this one that we're developing. Thanks.
All right, and now advisor to student government.
No report.
Perfect. All right, are there any questions for the executive? Senator Fangs.
Question for VPFA Allen. Are you excited for your field trip?
Very excited. The Pre-Law Society is going to Lewiston District Court to observe Protection from Abuse Day. So it should be a really great time.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the executives?
Point of privilege, if anyone has any questions about the esports arena thing, now's the time to do it.
Senator Waters.
I remember us mentioning that we had a log for usage on the esports arena. Do we have names of some of the people that use it often so that we can ask them, like, do they need anything? Because I'm so unfamiliar with the esports arena, so it'd be really nice to have some of the people that are in there very frequently to tell us, like, hey, the keyboards aren't great.
Yeah, we don't have names.
Okay.
But we do have like usage numbers. If anyone wants those, I can put them in the Senate space. Like I said, we will be definitely doing like a usage survey, like surveying the students who are using the esports arena to like ask them what they want. So like that is part of our plan, or part of my plan before I like commit to anything on behalf of the organization. I do want to know like what students enjoy, what might be like a barrier to use, whether that's like the hours or like the equipment, et cetera, or like new consoles they want to see, stuff like that.
Senator Ricker.
If we sign this agreement, how long is the agreement good for?
Depends on the terms of the contract. I mean, I would recommend probably another 3 years. But that would all happen in like the negotiations of the contract, I think.
Senator Kemper.
And would any changes in the funding of the MOU come through EC?
Yeah, if we were to move in a different direction or like commit financially, Senate would see a financial request per usual. The avenue I'm exploring right now though, with like re-signing an MOU and like not necessarily increasing our financial obligation, wouldn't mean that you would not see a financial request in that case though.
Senator Ricker.
I don't know if anyone even knows this, but how much have we given to esports financially?
Please don't quote me on this number, but I think it was in the range of $40,000 when we committed to building the esports arena in March of 2021. I can put that number in the Senate chat though, once I do some more digging tomorrow, but I think it was ballpark that number. Also for context, that number was during COVID. COVID times were dark times and we didn't have a lot of like clubs asking us for money because there weren't a lot of events going on campus that clubs were really like needing and asking for money for. So we had a lot of like, when Vice President Allen gives the unallocated figure every week, like money that we haven't allocated out to clubs, that number was always like extremely high. And we used some of that money to put into the esports arena that year.
Any other questions or discussion with Vice President Allen?
I forgot something in my report. In the consent agenda tonight, if it does get approved, the allocation for $790 for the Maine Outing Club. Instead of coming out of unallocated, that will come out of the money that we had previously set aside in the annual budget, specifically for outdoor clubs.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to periodic reports. So we're gonna, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back down through for those who weren't currently senators, those who are new, et cetera, give a brief little detail once again of those positions, and then we'll get right into nominations and elections and new business. So we will start with faculty Senate student representative, Senator Kemper.
So I had this position last semester and the semester before. This is basically, as a senator, you go to the monthly open Senate meetings, and I have been invited to the like bi-monthly on the other sort of side of the month, the private meetings as well, but you're only obligated to go to the open ones. And to basically be the liaison between our body of undergrad students and faculty body. Basically reporting back from the faculty senate on what they're doing to us so that we know what's going on in that body, and then also advocating for the undergraduate students on the faculty senate. I think it's a really, really important position to have like someone in there who's willing to advocate for the student body, because we're basically, this person is the only person that gets to really say things with legitimacy on that committee.
All right, we'll move on to the University of Maine Board of Trustees student representative. No, so my bad. Some of these positions are up for elections and nominations. I'm realizing, I don't know why those aren't all execs. It's annoying, but this is our new BOT rep, so I'll let her take it away.
Great. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm new to this and yeah. So I'm Olivia. I'm a civil engineering student. I have a minor in political science. I am excited about this position. I don't have office hours yet, but I will. So those should be available. And if anyone has anything that they want to see specifically from me, please let me know. I would love to do that. I was at the board meeting this weekend, as Michael said, and I'm going to do just a summary, and I have a full set of notes that I can send to anyone who wants. So, also for anyone who doesn't know, the student representatives from all the campuses do a presentation at the ASA meeting, and we have different topics. So the next topic is dining, and I do a slide on humane dining. So if anyone has something they would like me to say to the board or a topic they want me to do research on, we don't love that. But the regular board meeting, first, there were several contributions in the public comment section, including some pertinent points from student senators, which I appreciate. That was great. And then in the policy manual, there were adjustments to how written public comment can be sent in. I don't think it could previously be sent in ahead of board meetings, and now it can. Among the other campuses, USM is now allocating specific funds towards DEI and scholarship. UMaine Fort Kent is hosting dog sled races on March 2nd, and UMaine Augusta has a new aviation maintenance technician certification. In the divestment updates, they're divesting more quickly than the initial goals expected they would. They're down from 2.5% to 1.4% fossil fuel exposure over 6 years across all three of their portfolios, which is a $13.8 million to $6.7 million divestment. In the chancellor's report, the Alphon budget investment has increased and 90% of their match donation has been raised by the universities. In the vice chancellor report, in their completed goals, they've established some system level progress in their DEI efforts, particularly with faculty turnover. There were questions about DEI, and those have been addressed or are starting to be addressed. They passed collective bargaining agreements for both part-time faculty association of Maine and Teamsters local union or union local. And then for the budget, the 2024 budget was closed, and work on the 2025 budget is happening at the May 8th FFT meeting. And I have a schedule for the FFT and ASA meetings. Anyone wants to they're over Zoom. And also notably in the budget, UMF has closed their budget gap along with the two other schools in the budget gap. And then there's a new BA in music technology that was approved at UMA.
Perfect. We'll now move on to the chair of the Fair Election Practices Commission, another position not up for grabs.
It's not up for grabs, but I am graduating, so if anyone's interested, they can shoot me an email. Pretty simple report this week. The nomination forms became available last week and they are due on this Wednesday at 5 p.m. And also I did an interview with VP Over and Sean for the CANS position. And also a personal project I'm gonna start working on for this position is building a database of like election schema for every single club that is active. So that whenever future FEPC or exec team, like if elections come into question, we'll have a database of how all of our clubs manage their elections. End of report.
All right, moving on to the student legal representative, a vacant spot.
So I held this position last semester. You, kind of as Kate said, you act as a liaison, but rather for Sean and Laura are the UMSG attorney. So we met bi-monthly, but you can meet weekly or once a month with him. If you get elected to the position, you can work it out with him. And so usually topics for discussion will include usage, so what students are coming to him for, how often students are coming to him for. You might discuss some of the more like present interactions between the police department on campus, and then you come back to Senate on Tuesdays and kind of give a brief synopsis of what our attorney's doing for the students on campus.
All right, we'll move on to the representative to the Graduate Student Senate.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's always nice to see old and new faces alike. For this position, it is your responsibility to just keep in touch with the Graduate Senate, attend their meetings if you can, and try to build a continually good relationship with them. There was some confusion about when these meetings would take place. It's changed semester to semester. This semester, it'll be on Tuesdays, 3:30 to 4:30 in Stoddard Hall. I think I butchered that. Stoddard, it's my bad. That is the position.
Perfect, thank you. Orono Town Council Liaison, the individual who held this prior is no longer, well, not gonna say it like that. Is no longer at the university, but essentially what the next two positions, Old Town and Orono Town, council liaisons are simply exactly what they are. You just go to those meetings. I believe they alternate Mondays. Someone else can, is it every Monday?
The alternate is for the Orono one, I think it's every second and fourth Monday. And I don't know about the whole town.
It's first and third.
Okay.
Okay, so it's that way. You can hold both of these positions, one of them or neither of them, but run for them if you're interested. Moving on to the representative of Military and Veteran Student Affairs.
Hey guys, me again. For this position, it's very similar to the GSG position. We care about having a good relationship with the veterans on campus as well as the ROTC. Unlike the GSG position, there's no scheduled meetings with this group. It's just your prerogative to go and reach out to them. If you have any questions or if you do get the position, I can give you their contact information. And thank you for your time.
Director of Communications, position not up for grabs.
Hi, everyone. The stickers that I've been working on, the logo stickers came in this week, so keep an eye out for those at different events that we're doing. I will be doing headshots for those who didn't get theirs done last semester or want redos, but I'm going to be doing them during my office hours on February 7th from 2 to 4 p.m. Just shoot me an email or a message if you're going to come, just so I can get a grasp of how many people will be there. And if this time doesn't work for you, also just reach out, we can work something out. End of report.
Perfect. Moving on to the Director of Technology.
Howdy y'all. So since last week, I've just been working on like a few small things. There was a calendar issue, nixed that. So sorry to anyone that ran into that. Anyways, so that's kind of fixed with a temporary thing for now. I uploaded our lovely VP Student Organization Handbook onto the resources page. I've listed our new BOT onto the About page. And as of today, VP Ober will be very excited. I've contacted IT to come fix a printer issue that only they can manage. It's because they're agile prohibitions, I swear. Yeah, and they have gone back to me actually, so hopefully that'll be within this week, something happens. And this week I'll just continue what I've been working on in the background since last week, which is designing a new join page and just other small tasks, and a report.
Moving on to University of Maine Security Representative.
So this position will entail, if any of you get it or so forth, basically having the freedom to kind of organize, schedule a meeting with the UMaine Police Department Chief, as well as the facilities management. And throughout my short tenure, I incorporate chief resident life within this tenure. End of report.
All right, Center for the Undergraduate Research Liaison.
Everyone, this position is another liaison position. You just make sure that you're in contact with the Center for Undergraduate Research. You just communicate kind of the desires of the student body and the General Student Senate to the Cougar contact that you have, make sure they know how the student body feels about what they're doing with grants, what they're doing with symposium and everything like that.
All right, are there any questions for any of those, Senator Ricker?
Question for the Director of Technology Mills. Are there any plans to upload the meetings public on YouTube or somehow have them available for viewing to the general student body?
Oh, don't worry, that is in my plan. Me and Director Carol over there, yeah, have been working on getting the YouTube thing set up. There's a few steps to get there, but I'm hoping like soon we'll have something. But getting the meetings up there is definitely my one of my top priorities.
Any other questions for the speakers? Senator Waters.
My question is for BOT Rep Britton. How do you plan on making your report visible to the rest of the student body so that they also know what's going on in the board of trustees?
The entire report or?
Yeah. The entire report, yes.
I can ask Jeff what the best way to do that is. I know Ben in the past has said that he just emails it upon request, which if any, like, you can email me now, but I'll ask Jeff what the best way to do that is.
Senator Oldfield.
This is actually, never mind.
Point of privilege?
Yeah.
I got you there. I'll put it up, don't worry. Documents, I need to do that anyway, so.
Love it. Vice President Chaplin.
Second point of privilege that I can also include an update with the newsletter as well, clear your contact information, and link to whatever DOT running website. All right, we'll get it.
Any other questions for those speakers? Seeing none, we'll move on to reports of standing committees. Once again, if the position is open, please give a little bit of an overview if you've held it. But we'll start with one that's not open, marketing and public relations.
No report.
All right, membership.
Trip, would you like to explain what I do? Because I don't remember.
Let's explain what we do. So membership is essentially in charge of membership, and what that kind of falls under is kind of working. Originally, it was kind of the recruitment chair. It's kind of slid more so under the VPSL position. So really what membership has kind of been used for has been the kind of entirely taking care of the refreshments for the night. So you would work with our lovely office lady Pam, and she would give you the card and the contact information and whatnot, and she'll help you get all of wherever you get to choose, essentially. I mean, it would be nice for you to take Senate input, but you are kind of the final arbiter of what we have each week here in the meeting. But you're also in charge of working with the vice president of student leadership or myself, depending on who takes on the project that year, of the student retreat or the leadership retreat, which I believe is in the works right now. Moving on to policy and procedure.
So pretty much what this role is, you are the chair of the committee that handles a lot of the internal affairs of Student Government Inc. That can range from revising or editing governing documents, job descriptions, creating new special committees, and then reviewing those committees to see if they become standing committees. So like I said, very much internal affairs, while also finding ways to branch out student government and making it as efficient and helpful as possible for the undergrads.
Perfect. All right, moving on to political activism.
Yeah, this position oversees and facilitates the activities of our political clubs on campus.
Services.
So this essentially has to do with all auxiliary services on campus, and you check up on them, like printing and bookstore and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty vague though what services are, and you most likely contact Dick Young for most information you have.
Perfect. All right. Any questions about those positions? Let's go twice. All right. Moving on to reports of special committees, starting with the Academic Affairs Special Committee.
Hello. I am looking forward to serving on 2 task force as part of this role. If this role goes to someone else, I will make sure that they have all the necessary, they know all the necessary task force and make sure they get all the calendar advice for that. But the 2 task force are the equitable textbook program, which would be paying a one set cost on your tuition for all of your textbooks and course materials, and just a task force on the feasibility and the popularity of that. And then the Student Hub Task Force, which will be revitalizing the online Student Hub. Among other things you would do in my role, you get to meet with the Vice Provost on an every other week basis and make sure that not only academic issues are brought to his attention, but anything that he wants to market out to the student body, such as tutoring services, make sure that gets to the student body as well.
Thank you. Student Mental Health Committee. Who wants to explain? Senator Ricker, I'm happy to go into that.
I think this position is very kind of open what you can do with it. I know historically people have like hosted events such as this committee. You can communicate with like SWEL or communicate with the counseling center. You can do a lot of it, and like either you advocate like to them student needs, or maybe you communicate on behalf of them to student government what's going on.
Perfect. Undergraduate Student Symposium Committee.
This one's kind of similar to the Cougar Liaison, but you work on the student side. So here you hear voices of anybody who attends the Student Symposium Committee, whether they're a member of the Senate or not. You just want to hear their voices and try and help the Student Symposium, which is like the big event that Cougar and the research side of things do. You want to make it run as smoothly as possible.
Food and Dining Affairs Committee.
Yeah, in this position, you meet with the dining heads, and you basically try to communicate the opinions of the students to the head of our dining facilities. If any of you guys try to take this from me, I will be more than happy to share their contact information with all of you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Are there any questions about those positions? Does anybody want to fight them? All right, we'll move on to representative board reports, starting with Honors College Student Activities Board. And just before we continue, that is the end of the positions that are open.
Hi, everyone. So this is going to be a little bit long. I've been busy. It's been a week. I've been busy. So the activities board had its first meeting last Thursday, which I mentioned last week in Senate, that was going to be our meeting day now. And we actually voted our executive board for this next coming year, because we don't go by an academic year, we go by calendar year. So our vice president is the same, you might have heard from our last president, Ashley Reagan. Our treasurer is former president, Callie Warren. Secretary is Ruth Griffith, and our new communications chair is Zoe Zellhart, who is a freshman. I also met with the dean of the Honors College. That's kind of club business, but we're actually going to Honors College. They met with the dean of the Honors College, Dr. Weinauer, as well as our first year recruitment chair, Sarah Lucci, and I will be meeting with them for collaboration and visibility efforts for the next coming year, hoping to work on retainment issues in the Honors College, kind of starting forward with that. Sarah will also be attending one of our meetings in the next coming weeks to come up with more ideas, as well as we're forming hopefully a possible liaison chair position between the activities board and the honors ambassadors, to also up visibility and actual access to the Honors College. We also had a meeting for the Maine Day Meal Pack Out last Thursday, where we are officializing a raffle to receive donations for the Maine Day Meal Pack Out. So if you're interested, there will be a bunch of different baskets that we'll be having. We'll hopefully be tabling a reunion for that. And there will also be a restaurant fundraiser. I'm not sure which one. I'm not privy to that information. Our advisor, Dr. Melissa Ladenheim, has also invited myself and others on the Maine Daniel Packout Committee to speak to the Old Town Rotary Club on March 7th. So I'll be reporting on that when that comes along, because I am the only remaining member of SAB who has actually been part of a real Maine Daniel Packout. So that is what I will be doing, and I will be sharing my experiences there, but that is the end of my report.
Perfect. Moving on to the Interfraternity Council representative.
Hi everyone, just a couple of quick things. So fraternity rush is still going on through this week. Most fraternities will be done after this week, but a couple will still have more events in the following weeks. Our first official general IFC meeting is going to be held tomorrow. Right now we're in the planning process of Greek Week with the Panhellenic Council. And we're also working on a few other events, including a possible DEI event in collaboration with DEI or international clubs or associations, also in collaboration with Panhell. End of report.
Perfect. Panhellenic Council representative.
Hi everyone, we had our first panel meeting on Thursday, and most of the sororities on campus are participating in continuous open meeting this week, which is an informal recruitment for the spring semester. And then, as Jacob said, we're working on Greek Week and DEI events.
Senior Class Council.
So we're working on a fundraiser for February. We have one for the beginning of March, so be on the lookout for that. And there are 95 days until graduation.
Perfect. My bad. Student Athletic Advisory Council.
So we got a couple things planned. First thing coming up is the Scholar Athlete Recognition Ceremony. So basically, this is a recognition ceremony that's being held, I think, Wells Dining Hall on the second floor, Scholar Athletes, which means anyone who achieved like above a 3.0 GPA. We're also doing the main event, I think, in April, which is the award ceremony to recognize athletes for their athletic accomplishments. SAC is having the first meeting, I think February 5th, it's like next Monday. Other than that, like we had a couple competitions. Recently, hockey has been, I think, top 5. So maybe they might win a natty. They might win a natty. Swim and dive went against UNH. We lost by a little bit, almost beat them, but we're going against Providence and beat them. So yeah. Sadly, the men's team lost. So take what you get. We have a couple events planned. I think men's basketball has a couple games, and swimming and dive also has championships coming up. So yeah, end of report.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for the speakers? Vice President Chaplin.
I have a question for Representative Levesque. Can other students volunteer at the Maine Daniel Packout? Because I know you guys are planning it during the off season.
Yes, other students, if you have any groups that are interested, we will be looking for as many volunteers as possible, because we have, I believe, a food goal. I'll probably explain what the meeting will have a little bit better, but we have a food goal of making as many boxes as we can, which is going to be about 60,000 boxes and meals sent out to food pantries across the state of Maine, because we are the most food insecure state, and one of the most food insecure states in the country, and so we are trying to combat as best we can. And so if anybody has any interest in volunteering, please reach out to me or anybody on the committee, particularly Griffith, who is our secretary, but also for the Maine Daniel Packout, she does a lot of work with that as well. So,
Any other questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move on to Community Association report, starting with Shaq, and I have that, so give me just a second. This is from Representative Guzman. Hello all, if VP Tripp is reading my report, unfortunately, I could not attend tonight's meeting due to prior obligations I needed to attend. Tonight's report is relatively short. SHAC will have its first meeting tomorrow from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Senior Schools Room. The agenda will include organizations creating a SHAC representative in their bylaws, revisions to the Constitution, annual budget, and collaborations. Next, I got invited to sit in one of Maine's business schools DEI committee meetings, where we discuss how a potential partnership could be formed between them and SHAC to program a unique opportunity for both parties. More details to come. And then I testified at the BOT meeting as SHAC spokesperson, presenting my constituency's position that there is a lack of support for DEI initiatives on the systemic level. Perfect. Moving on to Feminist Collective.
Okay. Hi everyone.
As we settle into the beginning of the semester, I'm happy to be here to work with you all again, and I hope that you have all had a great start to the new semester and are feeling confident and comfortable in your roles at the university so far. Since the beginning of the semester, I personally have been settling into my role as chair of the Feminist Collective since our wonderful co-chair, Jenna Turgeon, has stepped back to the vice president position to focus on student teaching this year. Nevertheless, Lauren has continued to be a great help to me settling into this role. And while she's not here with us tonight, I just wanted to take a moment to give a special thank you to Gwen for everything that she's done for the Feminist Collective here in Student Gov and for the university as a whole. She's definitely made transitioning to this like so much easier. So just big thank you to her. As for the progress of our club during the beginning of the semester, within the first few weeks, the Feminist Collective already has some exciting plans underway, including plans for continuing and reintroducing humane traditions, such as Take Back the Night in April, and we are also planning to do the monologues as well, in collaboration with Triota. We have also already completed our first big event to kickstart the semester. This event was a collaborative event with ODI and All My Women, special thanks to Kate. Of the concert for a cause, but I do not yet know how much we raised during this event. I'm hoping to have those numbers soon so that I can share them with you all in our upcoming meeting. And also, in addition to monetary donations, we also gathered quite a bit of clothing and a little bit of food as part of this event. Lastly, I would just like to let you all know that the Feminist Collective is meeting this year on Mondays in the Multicultural Student Center, starting at 4 p.m. It usually goes from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., but we have the space rented out until 6 for certain events and things like that. So if anyone would like to join us, we'd be happy to see you there. Or if you would like to be added to our email list to find other ways to get involved, either with events that we have or more volunteering opportunities, or any number of things that we're doing, please feel free to reach out to me either in person during the break, after Senate, see me, or via email. And my email is emery.clifford@maine.uk. End report.
Moving on to Wildstein.
Hi all. I don't have a specific date nailed down just yet, but we are looking at student auditions for the drag show in mid to late February. As an initial audition, an actual routine is not required at the time. There will be a later check-in closer to the actual show. But if you know anyone who is interested, we're very much welcoming to beginners, people who've never done drag before, people who are nervous about it, who are people who are wildly experienced at it, if you want. But yeah, more information on that as we manage to nail down a location specifically in a report.
Moving on to International Student Association.
Hello y'all. So this week's report is we welcome a new treasurer and he has completed his training so we can continue as usual. For this week coffee hour, we will have exotic fruit themed bingo at the North Pod at 4 p.m. and we will be serving Subway and iced tea. And our first rehearsal for International Dance Festival last Saturday went really well, and we are so excited for actual performance coming up soon on February 24th at CCA. And
Perfect. Are there any questions for our speakers? Seeing none, it's the pleasure of the Senate. We will now move into a 5-minute recess, coming back at 7:12. Call this meeting back to order. We will begin with the consent agenda. Senator Epsall,
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
if that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. We'll now move into new business, starting with 45S EBC 06, an act to allocate funds to cheerleading in a total of $6,800. Do we have speakers?
Hi, everybody, I'm Lindsay. And I'm Jade. So we just wanted to talk to you guys. We're going to be attending the NCAA Collegiate Nationals in April, representing the University of Maine. And so we are requesting $6,800 to cover our hotel and registration fees.
As a cheerleading team, it is our job to keep up the spirit and positivity of this university. So we have a specialized group where we keep up our professionalism and how we look and how we appear in every setting as we go to basketball games, football games, hockey games. We face painted at soccer games. I've probably seen a lot of your faces going like this at you guys. But it would really mean a lot to us if we could represent you guys through something that means so much to us. Our program in Daytona Beach is NCAA Nationals. They only give out 5 gold bids, and we worked over the summer for weeks to obtain one of the 5 gold bids, and all we need left is the $6,800. We have been working tirelessly on fundraisers after fundraisers that we have to take money out of our own pockets to get to nationals, and this is just the last leg for us. So we really appreciate you guys giving us the time to be here.
All right, are there any questions for our speakers? Senator Ricker.
How many members are going on the street?
So we have 19 competing on the mat that will attend, plus a coach, a chief, and the videographer pay for their own separate ways. So it's just the 19 athletes competing that funds go for.
Any other questions for our speakers? Vice President Chaplin.
I think that's answered by VPFA Allen, but do you know how much we funded the last time you guys went?
I'm not sure. I know you guys gifted us some of the game day uniforms that we have worn previously at basketball games. And then I do believe you guys did fund some for last year's nationals. I'm not quite sure though the exact amount.
Yeah, so last year for Daytona, we funded $9,612.30. So this trip is cheaper because of the gold bid. Yep.
Perfect. Any other questions for the speakers? Vice President Allen?
Approximately how much are members paying out of their own pockets to attend the trip?
So we've had to pay for our own warm-up gear because we do not receive any finances for our practice wear, our uniforms. So luckily we've done a lot of fundraising through youth events. We do a lot of sponsorships through the waterfront. Actually Duncan of Maine did a big sponsorship for us. So we've had to pay roughly about $300, and it's also up to the athletes. If you choose to, participate and go get sponsors, then that benefits you, but some people choose not to, and then that's kind of, they pay a couple $100 out of their pockets.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the Senator Ricker?
This might be kind of a bigger kind of conversation, I guess, but does cheerleading get funding from athletics or a club sport in the country?
So, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but because cheerleading is not an NCAA Division I sport, athletics can't/doesn't choose to recognize cheerleading, unfortunately. They are sort of recognized under athletics, but not in any way that constitutes finances. They're not really a club sport either because they do like, kind of hard to explain, but they're not a club sport because they're not, I don't know, they provide service to the university in like ways that club sports don't. So it's kind of a weird gray area. But if we are concerned about like community service and fundraising, I'm sure that we can ask them about how much community service and fundraising that they've done, similar to what we require of other club sports.
Any other questions for the speaker? Senator Fay.
This is a question for any executive member that can answer this, but is our logo anywhere on their stuff, or is that not applicable in this situation?
So our game day uniforms, it's completely like on the back of our uniforms. So like when we're flipping, you see us, see your logo right there.
Any other questions for our speakers? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
700 on to pass.
Senator Peterson.
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. We will now move into a period for discussion. Vice President Allen.
I'd just like to point out that the trip is a few $1,000s less expensive than the Daytona trip last year because the club worked so hard to get the gold bid.
Senator Oldfield.
I do have a question for the speakers. Would you guys be willing to come in and do a presentation after the competition for us?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll bring our trophy when we win.
Yeah.
Any other points for discussion? Any points for debate? Senator Kemper?
I did some quick math, and I think we should totally support this because the people are, each cheerleader is paying about $300, as they said, and we'd be paying about $350 per person, so I think it's a pretty even amount of money.
Senator Waters?
I'm a little conflicted right now, and I don't know how I'm gonna vote yet because these athletes deserve support and they deserve help because they shouldn't have to pay out of pocket at all. When that's $300 is very different than the $2,500 I paid on the cheer team last year. So these athletes do deserve support. I really don't think that should come from student gov. I don't think that they have any other options right now, but this is not something that can continue next year. We shouldn't have a yearly Daytona. We shouldn't be paying for Daytona yearly. That should be under athletics. So when you go to Daytona, and I have been, and you go and you see all the other schools, you can tell which schools are funded by their athletics program, which ones are not, because they have matching uniforms, they have gear bags. And I just think that we are letting athletics go without funding them by doing this. And it's kind of similar to the Cougar thing, where by funding the symposium or by offering to, we were letting the school off the hook. And I think it's so hard because they deserve to go and be supported, but it shouldn't be by us. And I also think that we should focus on, I don't know how to best word this. I don't know how to best word this. I just don't think that we should be the group that is supporting this. So I don't know how to vote.
Vice President Allen.
Just like a small bit of context, and I wasn't personally involved in the project, so I don't know too much about it. But our last 2 presidents ago, technically, she was involved in the cheer team. And I know that she worked to start those conversations with athletics, and our exec team at that time absolutely agreed and thought because the cheer team is providing such an essential service, similar to the dance team, that athletics should, have monetary support to the cheer team. But I'm definitely happy to help cheer in any way that I can, / if people, Senator Waters, if we want to work on this together, definitely be open to that, to start restarting that conversation.
President Deloche.
And, as was mentioned in prior meetings and earlier in this meeting, Vice President Tripp and I and Vice President Allen have brought this concern up to members of administration about expecting students to pay for things like the symposium or the cheer team that benefit students, but that the university also takes in a lot of money from and directly benefits from. So I'd be interested in exploring this, and I think it wouldn't be hard to start a conversation about that, especially given our successful professional communications about Cougar this year. So I guess Senate, you have my word that I will bring that up. And I think I speak for Vice President Tripp here when I say we'll both bring this up in meetings. To explore this with administration. Based on previous conversations from former President Chisulo, I can't promise any amazing results, but we're gonna bring this up and I will hopefully have some answers for you later this year. Yeah.
Senator Bohm.
I just want to say that the exec team did amazing work in getting the university to acknowledge the symposium and how they should be funding it and how it shouldn't be on us. But it's not a snap your fingers, get it done kind of project. So it takes time, and in the year between, funding would have to come from student government to fund it, but changes did happen in the end. So I feel this year would be a really good idea to fund them, especially considering how hard they worked, how they've gotten the 1 out of 5 gold bid that was given out this year. I think it's amazing, and I think that if we keep pushing that in the future, there will be change that happens.
Senator Oldfield.
And just to echo, I think just because we want to see change means that the current cheerleaders who got the gold bid to go to Daytona should not have the opportunity to go this year just because we don't believe that it should be our responsibility to fund them. And I think it would be unfortunate for us to not let them go this year because we want change, because we can do both.
Senator Waters.
From personal experience, to clarify, does not matter how much money we do or don't give them, they'll go no matter what. I'm just so hesitant to just keep supplying them with money every single year. What happens when next year we didn't do the work before? Yeah. Like, shouldn't we make the statement now while we have the chance?
We run clubs to go to national championships all the time. We did it like last week. We do it all the time for who just went? Rugby and mountain biking and
Men's volleyball last year.
yeah, men's volleyball. We run clubs to nationals all the time, just because our cheer team is awesome enough to qualify every year, and some of our other teams don't qualify every year. Doesn't mean that we should not fund them. That's just props to their talent and how like deserving they are to go to nationals, that they get invited every year. So is it the date?
This is.
I don't. We are in debate. My turn.
Okay, I'm gonna make a statement.
Go for it, go for it.
I don't want to get shut down. Okay, so I think that we should absolutely fund them, because they're deserving of it. And yes, this can be a conversation, but the exec team, this year has really started a lot of conversations and has pushed a lot of issues forward. And I'm pretty proud of us in that regard. But this is definitely something that we've been thinking about. We talked about this in EBC yesterday. We had a long discussion about it. I think it will not go on that.
Representative Clifford.
I'm not sure if this is quite the right time to ask this, but I guess it's just kind of a clarifying question, which I'm a little confused about the assertion that the club members would be able to attend this regardless of if student gov funds it or not. And I'd like to hear some clarification. I didn't catch who said that, but both from who said that and perhaps from the club as well, because I'd be interested if you feel the same, that all of your members would be able to afford it if student government didn't send that money, because as a person who typically has some financial hardship, I can see why that would be like a significant strain to some students. So I think, yeah, I'm just curious about.
Do you want to take that question?
Absolutely. So we have a couple fundraisers going right now to try and, diminish the cost when we get there about, we have to pay for a bus to transfer because we fly into Orlando and then we have to bus to Daytona, all the rounds. So we have to do that. And if not, we're looking for payment on March 15th, I think is the latest we have to send it in. And if people don't have the money, then they don't go.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to know that we are actively trying to decrease the cost as much as we can, not just asking you guys for the money up front.
Also, personally, also as like an athletic team, we are expected to keep up athletic standards. We wake up 5 a.m. every morning to be at practice and to uphold all of like the standards of the athletic department, and also work full-time jobs. And also we are both nursing students. So there is that expectation to be here. To add on a 40+ hour rate to pay $300 more towards the program and towards the, things that we also have to upkeep, it would just be like much more relieving, as you all know, to have that in our back.
Vice President Chaplin.
I just want to say that if we do want to kind of address this issue as a Senate, which I think is an excellent idea for us to take on, but I really think the best way to make a statement and the best way to approach admin professionally in that situation, we kind of would have two options here. We can either approach them and say, hey, we sent them to Daytona after they demonstrated that they deserved it, after getting a gold bid, only 5 out of I think like 430 teams, which is incredible. Or we can say we doubled their out-of-pocket prices for the trip, just because we wanted to be idealistic. We need to be patient if we want real change in this community, and the best way to approach that is saying that we sent them to Daytona.
Senator Kemper.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of moving to previous? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority affirmative. All those in favor of the funding request? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority of the affirmative, that passes. Guys, you are free,
Thank you
feel
so
free to
much.
stay or leave, totally up to you guys. We will now be entering back into our nomination session, so give me just a second to get that set up. Do you want to do that? Oh, they're already there. Okay, perfect. So essentially how this is going to work is I'm going to go down through once again and collect nominations for each position. We will then go back through. All right, okay, sorry, that makes sense. We will go back through and then do elections afterwards. So we will start with nominations for faculty student senate representative. And this can be held by a senator or a rep board. Vice President Chapman.
Just a quick point of privilege. This meets at the first Wednesday every month at 3 p.m. We've had issues where people take the position, get elected, then can't go. We have to do the election like 3 more times, so please check your calendars.
Senator Oldfield.
I nominate Senator Kemper.
Accept.
Senator Ricker.
I nominate myself. Especially
Any other nominations for faculty student senate representative? Vice President Allen.
Just a point of privilege for all the nominations. If you want a position and you haven't been nominated, you can nominate yourself.
Yes. Any other nominations for faculty senate student representative? Seeing none, we will now move on to legal services representative. Senator Bone.
I would nominate Senator Thompson.
Second.
Thank you. President Delorge.
This is a point of privilege. Can you just list off who is already nominated?
Oh, yes, that's my bad. Already nominated is Senator Shelmerdine. Any other nominations? Senator Ricker.
I nominate Senator Blocky. Second.
Accept. Any other nominations for this position? Seeing none, we will now move on to representative to the Graduate Student Senate, can be held by a senator or a representative. Currently nominated is Senator Waters. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we will now move on to Orono Town Council Liaison. This can be held by a rep or a senator. Currently nominated is Senator Martone. Are there any other nominations? Vice President Chaplin.
Point of privilege again, 5 p.m. the second Monday of the month, and you can also Zoom into these meetings.
Going once. Going twice. Moving on to Old Town City Council Liaison. Currently nominated Senator Martone, reps and senator eligible. Vice President Chaplin.
Monday, February 5th at 6 p.m. It's what's in the Senate.
Going once. Going twice. Moving on to representative to the Military and Veteran Student Affairs. Currently nominated are Senators Emsall and Senator Shelmerdine. Oh my goodness. Senator Emsall and Senator Shelmerdine. Are there any other nominations? Reps and senators. Senator Peterson.
I nominate Representative Levesque.
Second. I accept.
Senator Bone.
Nominate Senator Crawford.
Second.
I decline this.
Respectfully
decline.
Senator.
I do a nomination though. I nominate Senator Friend.
I'm very grateful for the nomination.
Do we have a second?
I'm very grateful for the nomination, but I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations for this position? Going twice. University of Maine Security Representative, reps and senator eligible. Currently nominated Senator Emsall. Senator Fang.
I nominate Senator Buzzell.
Second.
Respectfully decline. Any other nominations? Once, twice. Moving on to Cougar Liaison, can be held by a rep or senator. Currently nominated Senator Bone. Senator Crawford.
I'll nominate Senator Shelmerdine.
Another nominate Senator Emsall.
I nominate Senator Fang.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations for this position? Once, going twice. Moving on to Membership, this is a standing committee, so it can only be held by a senator. Currently nominated Senator Fang. Are there any other nominations? Senator Bowe.
Nominate Senator Crawford.
Second.
I accept that.
Any other nominations for this position? Going once. Oh, Vice President Allen.
I'd like to nominate Senator Michoud.
Second.
Respectfully decline.
Any other nominations? All right, moving on to policy and procedure. Once again, a position that can only be held by a senator. Currently nominated Senator Peterson. Are there any other nominations? Going once, going twice. All right, moving on to political activism. Can be held by either rep or senator. Give me just 10 seconds. Nope, apparently not, just a senator. Currently nominated Senator Friend, Senator Emsall.
I nominate Senator Buzzell.
Second.
I accept.
Senator Crawford.
I nominate Senator Emsall.
I respectfully decline.
Vice President Allen.
I'd like to nominate Senator Thompson.
Second.
Accept.
Senator Friend.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Perfect. All right. Any other nominations for political activism? Senator Crawford.
Nominate Senator Waters.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations for political activism? No. Moving on to services, another position only held by senators. We will start, currently nominated Senator Peterson, Senator Michoud, and Senator Waters. Senator Waters.
I'd very much like to rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations for services? Perfect. Moving on to academic affairs, this position can be held by a rep or a senator. Currently nominated Senator Waters. Are there any nominations? Vice President Ober.
I'd like to nominate Senator Fang.
Second.
Respectfully decline.
Vice President Allen.
I'd like to nominate Senator Rocky.
Second.
Respectfully decline.
Any other nominations for academic affairs special committee? Going once.
To be clarified, is this for?
This is for reps and senators. Yep. Going once. Vice President Ober.
I'd like to nominate Representative Balea.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations? All right, moving on to mental health committee. This can be held by a representative or a senator. Currently nominated is Representative Clifford and Senator Thompson. Are there any other nominations? Senator Oldfield.
I nominate Senator Baker.
Second.
Senator Waters.
I represent, no. I'm in a mood. I nominate Senator Fang.
Second.
I accept.
Any other nominations for this position? Senator Thompson.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Perfect. Senator Emsall.
I'd like to nominate Senator Buzzell.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Ricker.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations for mental health chair? Going once, Representative Levesque.
Second.
Perfect. All right, any other nominations? Going once, going twice. All right. Undergraduate Student Symposium Special Committee. This can be held by a rep or a senator. Currently nominated Senator Bowe. Are there any nominations? Going once, going twice. Moving on, the Food and Dining Affairs Committee can be held by a representative or a senator. Currently nominated Senator Fang. Are there any other nominations? Senator Martino.
I'd like to nominate Senator Ricker.
Second.
Excellent.
Vice President Chapman.
I'd like to nominate Senator Waters.
Second.
I accept.
Any other, Senator Emsall.
I'd like to nominate Senator Martone.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations? Going once, going twice. Moving on to President Pro Tempore. This is a position that can only be held by a senator. Currently nominated are Senators Peterson, Thompson, and Friend. Are there any other nominations? Vice President Chapman.
I'd like to nominate Senator Bowe.
Second.
I accept.
Any other nominations? Senator Bowe.
Let's nominate Senator Kemper.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any, Senator Thompson?
I'd like to my nomination.
Any other nominations? Going once, going twice, Senator Ricker.
Second.
You accept? Yes. All right. Any other nominations? All right, we will move on to Sergeant at Arms. This can be held by a rep or a senator. Currently nominated Senator Spang and Representative Balea. Senator Bo.
Nominate Senator Crawford. Second.
All right. Keep in mind, senators, your senator requirements. Senator Martone.
I'd like to nominate Senator Sherman.
Any other nominations? Going once, going twice. We'll now move on to the Student Organizations Committee. This is a position, or this is a committee that needs 4 senators to sit on them. Only senators are eligible. Currently nominated Senator Peterson, Oldfield, Sherman, and Fang. Vice President Chaplin.
I'd like to nominate Senator Thompson. Second.
I accept. Senator Buzzell.
I'd like to nominate Senator Rocky.
Second.
I accept, thank you.
Point of privilege, this committee meets Wednesdays with oh dear Lord, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. That's slightly negotiable, but it's roughly that time.
And Senator Rocky.
I decline in that case.
Yeah, you are. Perfect. Senator Peterson.
I rescind my nomination as well.
All right. Vice President Ober.
I'd like to nominate Senator Crawford.
Second.
Accept.
Senator Fang.
Point of information, who's still up for it right now?
Currently is Crawford, Oldfield, Sherman, and Fang.
And Thompson.
And Thompson. Yes, sorry, I don't have the full list.
I did.
My bad. My bad. Oh wait, you didn't just rescind it?
Not correct.
Oh, my bad, my bad. I have it. Oh, I see. Never mind. Yeah, do you want to just throw it out?
Yeah, Senators Oldfield, Shelmerdine, Fang, Thompson, and Crawford.
That's funny. Okay, I was looking at the wrong line. Any other nominations? Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're moving on to EDC, another committee that needs 4 senators to sit on them. Currently nominated is Senator Friend, Amsel, Peterson, Thompson, and Fang. We will begin with Senator Kemper.
I nominate myself.
Second. And
Oh, I totally.
Just a point of privilege, this committee meets at 4 p.m. on Mondays. The times are non-negotiable. And if you sit on this committee as a senator, it covers both committee requirements.
True. Senator Peterson.
I rescind my nomination.
Senator Oldfield.
I nominate Senator Bone.
Second.
Any other, FEPC Chair Olson.
I nominate Senator Crawford.
Can you sit down and get back to like 60 seconds?
Yes. May have to be sooner. Vice President Kaplan.
I nominate Senator Rocky. Second.
Oh, wait, sorry, can I ask, am I allowed to ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, I read something like you need to be on 2 committees to be a senator, is that the case?
You need to be on 2 regular committees, chair 1 committee, or sit on EDC, SOC, cabinet, and that's it. Yeah, and I can explain those a little bit more in detail if you'd like afterwards.
Okay, can I decline then?
Rescind?
Rescind.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Any other nominations for SOC? Senator Fang, or not, EDC, my bad.
Information, doesn't VPSC Moore's committee also fulfill that requirement, since it's an executive committee?
Does it for 2?
Oh, wait, no, SEC does not.
No, it doesn't.
SEC counts.
Everybody was nodding, I was like, no. Yeah.
SEC counts as a regular committee requirement, but not as an exec committee.
Okay.
So, yes, it counts, no, not for exec.
Because SL also doesn't count as
Correct.
2. It's only 1. Yeah. All right, Senator Crawford.
I respectfully decline the EDC.
All right.
Currently nominated are Senators Friend, Amsal, Thompson, Fang, and Kemper.
Perfect.
And
See, that's why we All right, are there any other nominations for Executive Budgetary Committee? Once. Going twice. Okay.
Sorry, shall we call the?
Well, you put your hand down, so I didn't know. Senator Fang.
I'd like to rescind my nomination for UBC.
Perfect. All right, are there any other nominations? Going once, going twice. That concludes our nomination session. All right, so how we're gonna do this is I'm gonna go back in order. FEPC Chair Olson and Vice President Ober are going to pass out little pieces of paper. The first vote that we will be taking is on. Okay, so first we'll start with congratulations, Senator Kemper, on the Faculty Senate representative. Only one person is nominated after this point, they automatically get it, so I'm just gonna go down the list and we'll get there. So next up is legal services. Currently nominated are Senator Shelmerdine, Thompson, and Rocky. We're gonna give Shelmerdine the chance to speak. So everybody please. It's now time to allow our nominees to speak. We'll start with Senator Shelmerdine.
Do I stand here or do I do it?
Wherever you want.
Okay. Well, hello everyone, my name is Cynthia Shelmerdine. Now, as an engineering freshman, not much career-wise or academically can speak for a position concerning law. However, I do believe my character and my ambition as a student leader does. For concerns on educating students who do not live on campus, about renters' rights or general student body, on how they can access benefits from the student activity fees they pay for, I think we should meet people where they're at. Some people I've spoken to that live off campus were unaware of the resources that we offer, and if elected to this position, I do my best to remedy that problem. Thank you very much.
So I'm a sophomore. I'm a legal studies minor and I'm in the pre-law society. So what I like about this position is I would love the opportunity to work so closely with someone that's like a legal attorney and get some kind of experience just knowing what they deal with and what it looks like to be a school attorney. I also would love to continue working with like property rights, renter rights, and just letting students know what's out there for them. Because not a lot of people know about the service, and I think it's really beneficial to a lot of people. Thank you.
Senator Rocky.
What's up, guys? My name's Neil. I'm not a legal studies minor, but I am an active member of the Pre-Law Society. I've also worked in a Vault 50 law firm last summer, if you guys know what that is. So I have some experience with the legal profession, and I'm definitely going to be applying to and hopefully attending law school after my graduation in the spring. I also worked at the Department of State last summer, and I worked really closely with the Office of the Legal Advisor there, so I have some experience in that regard. I think if the government can trust me with classified information, I think you guys can trust me with this, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for me to help my fellow students and also work towards a career in the legal profession. So, thank you.
Either Senator Shelmerdine, Senator Thompson, or Senator Rocky for the position of legal services. Senator Kemper.
Point of privilege, I'd like to suggest that we hold the applause in between each speech just so that we can get through these a little bit quicker. I know that we like to show our support, but every time it's we have to wait. So that's just my opinion, I don't have to ask about it, but.
All right, so please, thank you for that. Please write down one of those three names, and then in the meantime, we will continue with speeches for Representative to the Graduate Student Senate. Oh, never mind, congratulations, Senator Waters. Congratulations, Senator Martell, on getting both Orono Town Council and Old Town City Council liaison. We will now start speeches for Representative to the Military and Veteran Student Affairs, starting with Senator Emsall.
Oh, wait a second. I think this might be Emsall.
Hi, I'm Chase Unsall, senior this year. America, one of red, white, one that I grew up with for my first 14 years around Fort Drum, hearing the concerns of military veterans, from wide-ranging, from educational, financial, and most of all, is to have the support they need. We are a campus of one of many opportunities, one that has many strides coming from different areas, including our veterans. And I feel that I will be the best one to be a liaison to help give that support to the veterans. Thank you.
Next in speeches, we have Senator Shelmerdine.
Hi again. I've grown up in a military family with my father being awarded a Purple Heart Award from his sacrifices in Iraq. And I've heard willingly or not, almost every problem that can occur within the military between the loads of paperwork or the general relation to the government happenings, being in the military. This also means that I understand the sensitivity and the attention to detail of some of these issues that veterans and military personnel face. Personally, I have firsthand knowledge of the Veterans Benefits Program, which is a really difficult application to go through, and it shouldn't be. In total, I believe I would suit this position because I enjoy being able to help those that I can, and being that I can emphasize and relate to this demographic, plus unique perspective to positively contribute. Thank you.
Can I rescind my nomination? That was a very moving speech.
You may rescind your nomination. Representative Levesque.
Hi, everyone. So likewise with Senator Shelmerdine, my father was in the military actively for 4 years. He was in the Marine Corps. I have heard firsthand from countless family members and those around me. I have many friends who are currently at the school who are veterans or planning on going into the military, which is a feat in and of itself. I myself was planning on going it and may still be considering it in the near future. I understand the hard work that many of these students go through, the hardships and just overall the struggles that many of them face. Not only have I had to go through them, but also the needlessly hard work and difficulty that it takes to actually get recognition as the dependent of a veteran, which is a challenge in and of itself, which I am actually technically not considered due to the school's incapability of accepting that. But I would love to be part of this position and do the work that will help all of these students be represented. Thank you.
Please write down either Senator Shelmerdine or Representative Levesque for the representative to the Military and Veteran Student Affairs, and also congratulations to Senator Rocky for Legal Services Liaison. Also, the FPC Chair Olson has asked that when you're done voting, please put your hand in the air with like, yeah, there you go. All right. Well, congratulations to Senator Empsall for securing security representative, Senator Bowe for Cougar representative, and then we will now move on to speeches for membership, starting with Senator Fang.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to start off this speech just by going over 3 things I want you all to consider when voting.
It's okay, babe.
You got this.
Support. Yes. I'd like you to keep 3 things in mind when voting. I have the support of former membership chair Dylan Lehman. He's in a better place now because he's getting paid and he doesn't have to come to these meetings. I have the support of current membership chair, which is me, Nate Fang. And I also have the support of Pam, which we all love. She does so much. And I went in to order Bagel Central and she said, Nate, I hope you stay membership chair. Thank you.
All right. Next we have, where are we? Crawford, Senator Crawford.
I'll go for that speech. All right, so most of you guys know me here. I joined last semester and I remember my first nomination, I didn't even know what the committee was, but hopefully this is better. So I'm an athletic training student and last semester I worked with the football team and this semester I'm rotating over to a high school. So practicing sports medicine. So I understand like some organizational governance with professional medical teams and down at high school setting, like our high school setting with like pediatrics. So with membership, I think obviously the tangible part of membership is the food you bring every day, and hopefully I can outmatch Senator Fang if I get elected, get some new things going here. Maybe some like McDonald's, Wendy's, we'll see. That can happen if you vote for me. And on the project with Jacob with the retreat, obviously I think it's super important that we like bond as a team, because obviously sometimes tensions can get high in here. So we want to leave that in here and, you know, just bond as friends in a community outside of this with a good retreat. So I'll work meticulously for that to happen. So if you want to vote for me, you can vote for me.
All right, please write down either Senator Fang or Senator Crawford for membership chair, and then hold those papers high. Congratulations to Senator Peterson for securing policy and procedure. Next, oh, sorry, I didn't hear the. All right, next we'll move on to political activism, starting with Senator Buzzell. Feel free to give your paper first.
Yeah, so I'm Hayden, you know me, served in this role last semester, and I think I'm uniquely apt to serve in this role because I have a very close connection with College Democrats, which is by far the most active political organization on this campus. I serve as president of the Maine statewide College Democrats and the treasurer of the UMaine chapter of that organization. Of course, I have other political connections as well, which I'm forgetting right now, sorry. But in this role this semester, I would support student initiatives in moving the election date from March into November. I've actually reached out quite recently to the head of the Orono Voices for Democracy Coalition and intend to work with them as part of Democrats and hopefully as chair for political activism as well. Additionally, I'd also like to see perhaps town halls and Q&As with some 2024 federal and state legislative candidates this semester. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Senator Thompson.
I'd like to rescind my nominations.
Congratulations, Senator Buzzell. Move on to services, starting with Senator Peterson.
So this is a position that I have held in the past from fall 22 to spring 2023. And yeah, a lot of you were here when I stepped away from the position to focus on different things, but I believe that the time that I've taken has really let me reflect and come up with new ideas and new directions for the Services Committee, whether it be really opening up discussions to the undergrad student body and really doubling down on what a lot of people want on this campus, which is the connection between the students, student government, and then the administration, whether that be infrastructure problems, quality of life in the res halls, dining halls, you name it. I think that a services committee in UMSG could really, with how many passionate people there are in this room, I think that there's a lot of potential, and I would be absolutely honored to be able to chair and facilitate those discussions. Thank you.
Moving on to Senator Michoud.
I have chaired this committee last semester, as some of you know, and I introduced a lot of some things such as printing, inclusive access, and the bus tickets that I'd like to continue and follow up. I feel like I see them as bigger projects. And I've kind of been thinking about how I think about services committee. I think it's kind of a very vague position, as I said in my initial describing it, and I kind of see it as like a service we provide, like services we provide to students, like such as the bus tickets or the bus coupons actually. And I'm gonna be working this semester to follow up and make like a printing video to show student, if I get this position, that shows students how to print. And I just think it's very important to think of this position to me as just providing them services to students, because that's what we do on student government. We find clubs, you know, we get them free movie tickets. I think having this more orientated towards that fills up one of the big like ethos behind student government.
Please write down either Senator Peterson or Senator Michoud for services. Congratulations, Senator Fang, for securing membership. And we will move to congratulations, Senator Waters, on academic affairs. And then next, We'll move to mental health committee, starting with Representative Clifford.
Okay, hi, everyone. First off, just a big thank you to Julian for recommending me for this position. I am like super interested in it. So yeah. Personally, while I don't have previous experience with committee work at the moment, I would be very excited to pursue this opportunity and step into the new role as the mental health committee chair. I think that this would be a really great opportunity for me, especially because it would be my final opportunity to step into this role since it's my senior year and final semester. So I would be absolutely honored to be able to do something like that. I also think that I have a lot of relevant background experience. For one, my major is psychology and gender and sexuality studies with a minor in mental health and rehabilitation services. So it definitely falls in line with the type of stuff I'm doing in school. I also have personal experience with accessing services both on campus and in the Greater Bangor area. So I think that I would be a good fit to being able to help connect people with those types of things. Additionally, along with my educational background, I have an interest in holistic approaches and the relationship with intersectionality and marginalization with mental health, which I think could be really beneficial for this role. I also am engaged with quite a few clubs that I personally think have at least some amount of overlap with benefiting or improving and maintaining mental health. I also include within my position with MC, graduate assistant Bailey Lewis has already reached out to me to collaborate with us and the Swell office. So I am already participating in some things relating to mental health events on campus. We have a few events that we're planning on, including one that I forgot to mention in my report today, which is our first collab is this upcoming Monday, Reclaiming Wellness, which will primarily be focusing on eating disorders. I'm also a member of Wildstein and SASH, and I regularly attend the Wilson Center events, all of which I personally believe at least have some overlap with mental health, especially when you consider SASH's Student Alliance for Sexual Health, for anyone who doesn't know. And I just think the different aspects of health do really overlap with each other, and building community when you're in a marginalized position can be very integral to mental health. So I do think there's significant overlap. I'd be absolutely honored to be able to take this opportunity. I think it'd be perfect for me due to my educational interest, where I'm already engaged on campus, and my future career goals as someone who is hoping to go into counseling or some realm of mental health. But yeah, it sounds like a very exciting and fascinating role, and I think that I would be a great fit for it. And like I could easily step into, yeah, I think it's a role that would suit me very well, and I'm a passionate advocate for this type of things, and I just think mental health is such an essential aspect to student life, academic success, and our students' overall well-being. So I would be like, very happy to take on this role.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Senator Feng.
First off, I want to thank Representative Boyer for that. Oh, sorry, no, I'm so sorry, Representative Clifford for that. For the great speech. Yeah, this is a serious speech for me, which is not something that I'll say often. Mental health is a very near and dear topic to me. Anyone who has interacted with me outside of Senate or any other professional setting knows that I am very open about my relationship and struggles with mental health. I can't say that I have the academic backing that Representative Clifford has. But so instead, I want to take this time and just share some ideas that I'd like to do as mental health chair. And if I don't receive this position, I'd love to work with whoever does on achieving some of these things. First off, I'd like to work on the communication between SWEL and the counseling center and the student body. You know, we all know it exists. I'm sure you could find some random person in the union and they know what those things are, but it never popped into mind to use those resources or even how to access them. I had recently tried to start going to the counseling center, and it was a very difficult process that I had to go to my academic advisor for, as well as a few other trusted adults that I just hoped could help me, and I'd like to make that process, if not easier, then at the very least clearer. I'd also like to work with groups that we typically don't think about with mental health, or even if we do, I'd like to really emphasize the relationship we have between those groups and the resources we have on campus. So stuff like Wildstein, that one is true, where we have so many queer students struggling with their mental health for whatever reason, whether that be familial or just struggling with their queer identities. We also have stuff like Representative Levex and the Honors College, where you have students that have this immense pressure on top of the average academic pressures a student faces, as well as some more obvious ones, like I know sports teams have the hidden opponent, which is something where they try to tackle mental health issues that athletes face. I'm sure I had more to say, but I can't do anything right now, so thank you for your time.
And then we have Representative Lebeck.
Hi everyone, again, so thank you both Senator Peng and Representative Clifford for your speeches. I also do not have the academic background of this, but I do have is I am an honors student, and that is an immense pressure, and I've seen the effects on the front lines as a resident assistant on this campus, and I have seen how hard it is for, that's rude, anyway. I've seen the effects that school can take on a student as well as on myself, as I am also a first-generation student on this campus, which I don't talk about often. I know plenty of people who have suffered through mental health. I had to force myself to go to the counseling center when I started my job as a resident assistant, and that is a terrifying process. And I want to open up more communication and avenues for students who deserve the help that they possibly cannot get, and have support from a body such as this one to get where they need to go, get the help that they deserve, and feel safe in who they are. And that is all.
Senator Fang or Representative Lebeck for mental health chair. Where are we at? Oh, congratulations, Senator Bohm, for chairing the Undergraduate Student Symposium Special Committee. Then we have food and dining is next, and we will start with Senator Fang. Oh.
Point of information, did we ever announce the?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Military and Veterans Affairs.
Oh, Military and Veteran Affairs?
Yes.
Okay, Representative to Military and Veteran Affairs is Senator Shelmerdine. Yep, and then congratulations to Senator Mishu for services. Now we're back at food and dining, starting with Senator Fang.
Commission, who's up against me again for this?
See, it gets me wrong. Liquor and waters.
Okay. You guys have heard enough from me tonight, so instead of talking any more about myself, I'm just gonna give the report that I tried to give earlier. I'm still trying to set up, we have times it's hard to find, it's hard to find time, but I'm trying to set up regular meetings with the head of, the Hilltop manager and the York manager, as well as the Bears Den manager. They want to meet together. I honestly like to meet them separately, just so they don't collude or anything. I also talked to VP Chaplin. I'd like to do some tabling with him and just, survey students a lot more, because while I appreciate the act to urges that we put through Senate all the time, you can't do one of those until you know what you want to urge. And I really want to set up a table outside Hilltop, where we've seen the frats every single day this week now. And just sit there and just ask students as they're walking by, what's your biggest problem there? Do you like the burger self-serve? Do you like how the burger's no longer self-serve? What do you want to add in? Same thing with York. I apologize, I don't need a Yorksman enough to know the main problems, but for those of you that do, please reach out to me or whoever has this position. Additionally, the president of the Black Student Union, Priscilla, has reached out to the York and Hilltop managers to see if they can play a playlist with songs by Black artists over the speakers for Black History Month. And I have sent her an email just letting her know that if you need my support or the Senate support in any way, to please reach out. And if all goes well, I will be reaching out to the VP Trip to see if she'd like to come speak about it. Thank you.
All right. Before we move on, I'm just gonna say, I love the speeches and I love the love, but just for the sake of time, just remember that we do have a little bit after this, so just keep that in mind. Next we have Senator Waters.
I appreciate that you didn't call me scary this time.
Oh my God, I forgot that. For anyone wondering, I am still scared of Senator Waters.
That's great to hear. I rescind my nomination.
Senator Ricker, you're up.
I'll speak this up, I rescind my nomination.
All right. After the fact. All right. We will now move on. Congratulations, Senator Fang. Turns out we have a tie for mental health chair between Representative Clifford and Senator Fang. So, does everybody have a new piece of paper?
Yeah.
Someone will now please vote between those two individuals for that position.
Yeah, there's extra paper.
And in the meantime, we will begin speeches for President Pro Tempore, starting with Senator Peterson. But take, the time you need.
Okay.
This situation.
Are we're redoing mental health right now?
Mental health, yep.
Between Bang and Clifford.
Yes.
These are extras right here, people need them.
Yeah, President Pro Tempore, this is once again another position that I've held for an entire Senate session. It's one that I take a lot of pride in. I understand that there's literally no way I'm going to be able to chair a meeting as well as the Vice President of Student Works did last week, but I can assure you that if the rare chance ever comes where I get to chair this wonderful room full of great student leaders, I will try my best to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Everybody gets their chance to discuss, debate, and make sure that everything's as efficient as possible.
All right. Next, we have Senator Friend.
So I believe the last time I applied for this position, I lost in a rap battle. So that was a new one to me. Yeah, you said a rap during the entire presentation, and I think you won it.
What happened?
Yeah, it was an interesting day for me too.
Okay. I rapped?
No,
Okay. Understood.
I'd love to see that sometime.
Okay. No.
For those who don't know who I am already, my name is Tristan Friend, and I have some experience in decorum. Within my services, inside and outside the Army, I was a 27th Delta paralegal specialist, and I was charged with hearing the concerns of other soldiers, as well as in positions in my civilian world. I'm good at facilitating a meeting, as well as hearing the needs of those who wish to be spoken. Either way, I hope to be considered for this position as I am an underdog, and I hope to get some new, fresh people up there. Thank you for your time.
And then we have Senator Bone.
Hi, everyone. I'm just happy to be here. I'm usually here at every meeting. I might not speak the clearest all the time, but I'd like to have a chance to stand at Keegan's podium someday and maybe have a chance of showing.
And then last but not least, we have Senator Ricker.
Yeah, I was gonna face this by saying that no matter, like whoever gets the chair, if the pro tempore is probably speaking for the Senate, something is probably going on since Keegan has a perfect attendance so far, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah. I actually have, yeah, I'm pretty well versed in Robert's rules. I understand like how these meetings run. I also have experience in kind of conversation that is structured outside of it, such as through modeling and my experience teaching a high school class the winter. And something I like to do a bit kind of differently is kind of focus a lot more on the discussions that happen in this room. Because I know a lot of the time, discussion and debate, it can carry on continuously, obviously. But I also think at times that it kind of gets cuts off before all kind of opinions on board. And I definitely like to kind of see if I can change that as chair if I'm in a position to where we can hear all voices and hear every kind of opinion that might be here in the Senate. So thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right, please write down Senator Peterson, Senator Friend, Senator Bone, or Senator Ricker for pro tempore. Senator Peterson.
More papers.
Okay. More papers
I
than we
have
did.
more paper.
Do we have a?
Wait 1 second.
Perfect, and congratulations to Senator Fang on the Mental Health Committee appointment. Next, we will move on to Sergeant at Arms, starting with Senator Fang.
Again, point of information, who's up for this?
Yeah. We have Senator Fang, Representative Balea, and Senator Crawford.
Okay, I'd like to take this time, I know we're running long, I'm just gonna say a quick few things. I fully support Representative Balea for this. I am so exhausted of folding tablecloths, but I do want to say that in my short time as Sergeant at Arms, I got to close one window and that was awesome. I didn't get to kick anyone out though, because Keegan hasn't asked me to. Thank you.
Next we have Representative Balea.
Hi, I'm gonna try to make this a little bit short. Thank you, Senator Fang, for the endorsement. I just want to say a couple things. One, in my almost 2 years here at Senate, I have never missed a single meeting. So if you would like consistency, I will be there too. I've seen this position go up several different times for elections. And every time we like to make jokes about getting to be the one who kicks people out. If you are not in dress code, I'm always in dress code for one. And secondly, I have a counter offer to that if I am elected. Over the years, I have acquired a collection of at least 10 ties, and I'm going to start the emergency tie initiative. Instead of kicking you out, if you are out of dress code, I will deploy the emergency tie. Worn a tie today, that would have been better. Thirdly, I've already been helping a great deal in putting out the tablecloths, and I enjoy folding them at the end. And regardless of if I am elected or not, I will continue to do so. I would just like to serve you in a more formal capacity. Thank you.
And then we have Senator Crawford.
Due to my clinical obligations, I'm gonna miss 7 tennis this semester, so I presume.
Okay. All right, please write down either Senator Fang or Representative Balea. And congratulations, Senator Friend, for the pro temporeship. All right, next we have, all right, next we have SOC. Currently nominated are Senator Oldfield, Chemadine, Fang, Thompson, and Crawford. We will begin with Oldfield.
Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, I know there's maybe a couple new faces in here. I'm Elizabeth Oldfield. So last semester, this is my second semester as a senator. Last semester, I served on Policy and Procedure Committee, which gave me a good understanding of how some of the more like outlined and organized committees ran. And I attended last week's SOC meeting. And as a club president, I have a good understanding of
what's required of clubs to be recognized, and sort of how we go through that process. And I'll keep it short, so that's all. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right, next we have Senator Shelmerdine.
I wrote this meeting to say it in like the first one, because I realized that there's some people who don't know me. You might be thinking like, oh, who is this? I've never seen her before. But don't feel bad, because that's what a lot of people were thinking when I handed them my senator sheet for having to sign my names. But that's actually partially why I did the posters around campus you might have seen, because I really wanted to be able to represent my constituency and to make sure everyone's voices were heard. It wasn't just to show everyone the really cute photo that Hope took of me. But I think I'm a really dependable person, and I'm willing to do what is needed, and I'm really enthusiastic about student leadership. So that's all.
All right, next we have Senator Fang.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. I'd love to be on SOC. I'm very glad that I can make the meetings this year. I think it's very important that we have partner organizations on this school, as well as the rec boards. I'm glad to see how involved these clubs are and how large they are, as I think that extracurriculars are an incredibly important part of our student experience. And I hope you'll consider me for one of the four. Thank you.
Next we have Senator Thompson.
Yeah, just kick the table. I wrote like a whole speech, but in the name of time, I'm gonna give you the spark notes. So for you guys who don't know, I'm Jordan. I'm a second-year English student. I'm pretty involved on campus. I do a lot of stuff. I work with students through Trio. I write freelance for the Maine campus. I'm a member of pre-law. And I just wrapped up a year-long stint as communications director for the Honors College Student Activities Board. So when I joined last semester, I really wanted to do SOC. It was the one I had like my eye on, but I had a class commitment. And then this semester, when they announced the time, I also had a class commitment. But for a few reasons, I ended up dropping this. So I have the time free now, and I really want to be on SOC. One of my favorite parts of campus is how diverse the organizations is and how many ways people get involved. And when I did, on Tuesday, VP Over sent a message saying, if we have like 4 senators, can you just come to SOC? And I did, and I really enjoyed getting to talk to the clubs in the recognition process. So I think I could do this position well, and I hope you guys think that I can too. Thank you.
And then finally, Senator Crawford.
So SOC is my area of expertise. I served on it last semester. You guys aren't laughing at me. Seems like, yeah, so it's my area of expertise. I was on it last semester, and I was nominated for it again by VPSO Over, which I hope is a reflection of my work ethic in it last semester. So I think it's important that a senator who was there last semester is on it this semester, because I don't think there's any repeats running for it. So yeah, so last semester went really well. There wasn't many issues. We had a great time with the clubs. We made sure the bylaws were all perfect. And a few times like I went above and beyond and like built some relations outside of SOC with some like student leaders. So I'm hoping to repeat that this semester. So that's my speech.
Awesome. Please write down 4 names out of these 5. Oldfield, Shelmerdine, Fang, Thompson, and Crawford. And in the meantime, we will continue to move on to EBC, starting with Senator Friend. But of course, make sure take your time. Yeah. Reread what names? Oh yeah, currently nominated for EBC are Senators Friend, Emsall, Thompson, and Kemper and Bone. You're good to go. Everybody? Awesome.
Oh, no, sorry.
You're good. Do that first, then speak. How about that? Yeah. Perfect. Those yours. Oh my God.
I made 2 packs of ramen and Floppy showed me and put it on the.
All right, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna listen to Senator Friend's speech for EDC.
Awesome. I want to thank everyone for their time. I really do care about this position, as I've given time and investment during this last semester. I have a good voting track record during EBC of trying to vote for clubs that genuinely need the help. This is a position where I'm not an underdog in, but I do have experience in. I hope to be considered, and I thank everyone here for their time.
Next, we will have Senator Exel.
Thank you for your time. As someone who served on this committee last semester, it was a very valuable experience to me as well as many others throughout. I had the chance to get through an allocation of money throughout alongside with the rest of the EDC, where we were able to be advocates for clubs, to give supplies, to give whatever they needed as what was within our guidelines that we could appropriate. I would appreciate your vote for this. Thank you.
Perfect. Next up, we have Senator Thompson.
So my EBC story is kind of a lot like my SOC story. I was one of the 4 who went on Monday when there was an open spot, and I really liked getting to talk to the clubs about their funding. I really liked talking to the cheerleaders about their Daytona trips. I thought that was really interesting. And I just want to interface with clubs, talk about what they need, what they're doing. It's part of my favorite parts of college. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have, Kemper.
Hello, everyone. This is my first time speaking this evening. So for any of you that don't know me, my name is Kate Kemper. I'm a senior. This is my 4th semester on student government, I think, maybe 3rd. I love EBC. It's kind of one of my favorite things about student government. It's a little bit the reason that I'm still here. I've now served on EBC for 2 semesters, so last semester and last spring. And I think I bring a really sort of grounding and friendly voice to EBC that makes it a much more sort of welcoming place for the students that come. I can appreciate how long they sometimes wait for us to get through all of their requests. They're sometimes waiting for hours, and so I try to do my best to be sort of a friendly and open voice for those people that have been waiting to come and see us. I'm also obviously very experienced on EBC. Last year I was sort of a stickler through the whole long budget process, and that work is difficult, but I find it really, really fun. Even sort of at the end of like a 6-hour EBC meeting, which we will have again this year. And I think that I will put in the work and attend all of those meetings and stick it out to the end. And I love EBC, so please let me be on EBC again.
Perfect. All right, thank you. And last but not least, Senator Bone.
So for the last 4 semesters, like this included, I haven't had any time to do ABC. I've always had a time conflict. And this is finally the semester that I don't have a conflict. I was able to make the EBC meeting when there was a call for senators. It was a good experience. I really enjoyed it. It seems like something that I would love to do. I'm a big math guy. I like numbers, even though that's not totally what it is. I also try and be a big voice whenever we have clubs coming in with funding requests. And I was also working with Paige last year, dealing with Cougar and that whole funding situation. So I have experience working with large sums of money and trying to figure out best ways to spend them out.
Thank you. All right, thanks so much. Okay, let's do this vote first and then go back. All right, so please write down 4 names out of these 5. Senator Friend, Epsall, Thompson, Kemper, or Bones. Yes, I'll read that one more time. Friend, Epsall, Thompson, Kemper, and Bones. 5.
Senator Fang, he's working hard.
I wish everybody would put our name tag so we don't have
You hate Senator.
So, congratulations to Senator Shelmerdine, Thompson, and Crawford for securing their spots in SOC. However, we have a tie sent over just yet between Senators Fang and Oldfield. So please write down one of those two names for the final seat on SOC.
Please have some more.
Yeah, we can. I got them.
Anyone need more paper? Thank you.
Wait, there's a tie.
So there's one more person who can be on SOC. It's either Oldfield or Fang. Put down who you want.
Yes, but passing those, the EDC ones.
We already did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless you're a representative, in which case you just, So if you're a representative, you automatically are listed. If the senator is, yeah, they really enjoy I can't
I guess like
Have some sense in it.
Give your sign now. Seven dots.
That's terrible. Right.
That's just how it works.
Just like, I know, but I'm just bringing this up right now. No, we don't have to be all listening to this. Bring it up right now. It's just a matter of thing that we should probably talk about in the future.
Good point.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, not on your time. Where are we at? Congratulations to Senators Friend, Emsall, Kemper, and Bohm on their EBC positions. However, the last SOC is once again a tie. So.
Do you flip a coin?
Do you break that?
Is it up to you?
You broke it? Do I break it?
It's like there's in your job description that you get. That's great.
Well, I have to break it.
We should just flip a coin.
You can just flip a coin.
Okay. Give me a second. So we won't take a break. All right, I'm gonna give both candidates one last time to stand up. The speech of a lifetime. I'm limiting you to 1 minute. We're gonna start with Fang. It's all you, but.
Wait, we're starting with me?
Yes.
Okay, point of information, Senator Oldfield,
Yeah.
you're free at 3 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How do you feel about nomination? We're hiring.
We're saving you from that. Perfect. All right. That concludes our nominations and elections. Congratulations to everybody. One last round of applause. tonight's over, you are
Incorrect.
mistaken. Seeing no new things under, new business, we will now be entering executive session. All non-employees of student government, we will have to ask you to.